Hey, just gonna play the video in a second. Love you guys. I don't know if it did it for you, specifically, but on my screen it just stopped at 25.
Oh no, I don't know. I was elsewhere. Well,
I don't know. It stopped at 25, but clearly the music was still going. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? I am Soggy Boy. With me today, I have Mr. Drew, the inevitable Drew Chains, the Drewest of Chains.
Oh yeah,
Drew Daniels, what's going on?
What's up, guys? What's going on?
I'm gonna make the screen a little smaller so we can see all of us.
Oh yeah.
Little overload of Zack and Drew today. All right, guys. Well, hope you. Yeah, that's all you're getting. You better like it too.
Oh, we got Phil too. Never mind.
Oh, we got Phil. Oh yeah, hell yeah. What's up, Phil? Oh my God, I miss you, Phil. Guys, we have a great show for you today. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. We took a break for Christmas week. We are back. We are better than ever. We are going right into our playoff scenarios, playoff teams, playoff games, playoff clinching, everything.
It's time.
All about the playoffs this episode, this week. So,
and probably next week, and for the rest of
next week. Next week will be all about the playoffs as well. However, this is the big week where a lot of stuff can happen. Next week will kind of be just the cleanup week, possible division clinching next week. The AFC East cannot be clinched this week. That will be one of the only divisions that cannot be won this week at all. All other divisions are either clinched or can be clinched this week. The AFC East cannot be clinched until next week. Stay tuned for that. But obviously that affects most of our fan base, seeing as though we are Patriots fans. But let's go right into it. So let's go into our standings right now. As it is, we have our 7 playoff teams and everyone else in the AFC and NFC. So let's start with our number 1 seed in both conferences. We got the Chiefs and the Packers rounding out the top seeds in our conferences. Drew, obviously you are living it up there. James, what's going on? Nice. Thanks for the boners. Sorry, booners.
Yeah. No, absolutely thrilled that we're in a position to clinch home field again. And just wild that it would be the first time in God knows how many years since the Packers and, well, not since the Packers, since the same 2 teams won the conference 2 years in a row. So,
yeah.
And I mean, with the turnaround that the Chiefs have had this year, Mahomes looks like Mahomes again. The offense is starting to roll a little bit, even without Travis Kelce, even without Tyreek Hill doing anything. I don't know. The Chiefs are scary. The Chiefs are
frauds.
Very scary.
They're still frauds. They're gonna fall off.
I don't know, man. They're gonna. I feel like they're gonna roll through the AFC playoffs.
I mean, yes and no. I could see that happening where they get lucky. But we'll see this week. They have a tough matchup against the Bengals.
Yeah,
they really do.
Sure do.
And we'll get into that because they could possibly clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs with a win and I believe another loss or 2 or somewhere. But
a win and a Tennessee loss.
Win and a Tennessee loss. Yeah. Well, let's go right into it. Number 2 in the AFC, we have the Titans. Number 3, the Bengals. Number 4, the Bills. Number 5, the Colts. Number 6, the Patriots. And number 7, the Miami Dolphins. Out of nowhere.
Yep. What could very well end up being the most meaningless 7 to 9 game winning streak of all time.
Well, I mean, meaningless in terms of this year, but I mean, if you're a Dolphins fan, that's going to put a lot of faith. You can put a lot of faith in Tua right now. He's looked really good over the last 7 games.
He has. He's just got to stay healthy. That's a key. The defense has been decent.
Their defense has been the best in the league in those last 7 games.
Yeah, it's what we expected them to be going into the season. So I'm glad that they're finally starting to show that a little bit.
I mean, honestly, it might not be too little too late. They are looking right now as a playoff team. They are looking from the inside out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it really
inside
might
in,
not be.
nobody's looking out.
Well, I mean, think about it like this: the Chargers just lost to Houston, so they're looking
the
out.
Chargers are actively
out
trying
down.
to not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah. The Ravens not looking so hot. We got a bunch of 8-7 teams. There are 3 8-7 teams that are still in the playoff hunt. And technically speaking, the Broncos are still not out either. They're 7-8.
Wait,
They're still in the playoff hunt.
No way. What?
Yeah. Yep.
How?
The Broncos, the Browns, the Steelers are all still in the playoff race. The Browns and the Steelers obviously are because of the AFC North scenario. If the Bengals lose to the Chiefs and the Ravens lose and whatever team wins that game, Browns and Steelers go right up there. We'll talk about the scenarios, Drew, but that is what's happening right now. They are still in the playoff hunt. They're still there. They could clinch a playoff game, clinch a playoff spot, but everything has to go right for them.
The Broncos, they can't. I don't think they can clinch one this week.
They can't. No. So
they could be the 7th seed, and that is it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Broncos, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens, I believe. Wait, no, I'm sorry. The Chargers, the Raiders, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and the Broncos. All the teams that are outside right now, they cannot clinch a playoff spot until next week. Everything has to go right for them.
Gotcha.
So let's go right over to the NFC because we only talked about the Packers. Number 2 seed is the Cowboys. Dallas looking like a freight train right now, especially with that revamped defense. Everything's looking like it's clicking for them at the right time. The Rams, number 3 seed. They've had a little turnaround. Bucks, number 4 seed. Yeah, Tom Brady hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks. It's Tom Brady. Come playoff time, they're going to be fine. Whatever. Cardinals. Hey, Cardinals fans, number 5 seed right now. How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling about that?
Oh, man.
They look tough.
What a skid.
Ooh.
What a skid. I'll start with that loss to Carolina. No, they don't look good. Kyler Murray, since he's been back from that injury that I think he sat out way too long for, just doesn't look the same.
Nope.
Not having DeAndre Hopkins hurts. The Cardinals are on a downward trend, and that is absolutely the opposite of where you want to be at this point in the season going into the playoffs. So,
well, right. And I mean, think about it like this, right? You have 5 teams that are all have 5 losses or less. And they are solidified. Obviously, the Cardinals are in the playoffs. The Bucks are in the playoffs. The Rams are in the playoffs. The NFC is solidified. There are 5 teams that are going to the playoffs. We know they're going to the playoffs in that conference. Obviously, with the 2 remaining playoff spots being held by the San Francisco 49ers and Philadelphia Eagles right now. So
also
that is
kind of mind-blowing.
It is. I mean, seriously. So it's weird to me. It's weird to me that the Eagles are arguably the worst 8-7 team I've ever seen in my entire life. But they're in the playoffs.
And then you look one more notch down the standings and get the worst 7-8 team I've ever seen in my life.
I missed him. Who are they? Oh yeah, the Vikings.
No, well, I mean,
the Falcons.
The Vikings
the
are
Saints?
perennially. The
Which
Vikings
one?
are perennially 500. That is just what the Vikings are.
Which one, Drew?
The universe would not know how to handle it if the Vikings were
God.
more than a game or 2 above or below 500. So, but no, the Atlanta Falcons are just such a god-awful team. They have no right to almost be 500 right now, and even in the conversation for a playoff spot.
I mean, take at least a little good out of the bad. Cordero Patterson has been a monster for them this season.
Why the fuck haven't every other team that man has been on used him in some similar fashion? The Patriots tried. The Patriots tried, but he fucked up a couple times.
He did. That's true. So, I mean, they were on to something, and he wasn't at his best this season. He's been clicking, but it's crazy. He's it's weird to see, I guess, a player utilized like that, and we're seeing it in both sides of the country right now with Debo and with Cordero. Don't forget about Debo.
Different specimen.
Debo built different.
Yeah, but no, I think that the use of Cordero Patterson in the fashion that it's been done this year was born out of necessity for the Falcons because they lost their top 2 receivers, Julio before the season, Calvin Ridley a couple weeks in. They don't have a running back that you can really count on right now, other than Cordero Patterson, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just needed a guy that could do it all, and he answered their prayers, I guess. And that's why they're 7-8, dude. Oh.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, they're winning games, clearly. Obviously losing more than they're winning, but it's almost enough to earn them a playoff spot. So it'll be very interesting. But let's move forward. Let's talk about teams that actually can clinch. 1 second.
What's up? It's just me. Zach's gone. I am alone. All alone. I'm back. Yeah. Oh no, Zach's gone again. Oh no, I don't know what to do. Oh, he's back.
It's okay. We're back. Sorry, peeps. Anyways, yes, let's go into our playoff clinching scenarios and the games that are attached to those right now. We're just going to kind of go in, I guess, alphabetical order by conference. So we'll start with AFC East, Buffalo Bills. I believe there's 7 or 8 different scenarios. No, actually, sorry, correct me. 9 different scenarios for the Buffalo Bills to clinch a playoff berth this week. As I mentioned before, AFC East cannot be clinched this week. It will go all the way. It will take 18 weeks for a team to clinch the AFC East. So we will see what happens with that next week. However, the Bills can clinch a playoff spot this week. The easiest way for them to do so would be a win and a Baltimore loss, which looks very likely.
We're not gonna go through every scenario for every team.
No. We're gonna go through the most likely ones. So, like a win and a loss, or a win
and 2 losses, or
yeah. We're only gonna go through that. Any of them that involve a team tying and other things happening, y'all can take the time to read about that. We ain't going through that shit. We're only going through if a team wins 1 or 2 scenarios. So the first team, Buffalo, for instance, we will go through 2 because it's 2 different teams, 2 different levels of teams. So the first scenario for them is if they win and Baltimore loses. So that is the most straightforward way for the Bills to clinch a playoff spot. It quite frankly is the easiest way for them to clinch a playoff spot. The Bills are playing the Atlanta Falcons this week. And the Baltimore Ravens are in Los Angeles to play the Rams. So it's going to be very difficult. Oh, let me put that banner up. My apologies. It's going to be very difficult for the Ravens to beat the Rams. They gave the Packers a run for their money. However, the Packers still won that game. So
2 weeks ago.
If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you are rooting for the Rams this week. You're rooting for the Rams to beat the Ravens in order for your team to clinch a playoff spot and make it to the next round. Also, if the Ravens somehow miraculously win that game, Buffalo can still win. Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
As Zach was going to say before he was so rudely interrupted, Buffalo can still clinch a playoff berth if the Ravens find a way to eke out a win over the Rams. That would just simply involve them praying to God that the Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders come out of the week with losses or ties. The Raiders are playing the...
Oh, hold on. I'll get that for you.
The Colts. The Raiders
the Colts. The Raiders are playing the Colts. Yep.
And the Chargers are playing the Broncos.
So not easy games for either team. They're definitely winnable games for both. But also could see them losing. So it's not a Ravens-Rams scenario where, you expect the Rams to beat the Ravens. You expect a good Rams team to play well at home. The Colts are coming into Vegas. Sorry, she's screaming in the background. This is ridiculous. Yeah. So we're having, yeah. I'm so.
It's okay.
Yeah. So you have, sorry, you have the Raiders going in to Indianapolis to play the Colts. And Los Angeles is home for their game against Denver. So we'll see. The Chargers played terribly against the Texans last week. So for all intents and purposes, we could be looking at a terrible loss for the Chargers again to drop them to 8-8. And for, I guess, all but eliminate them from the playoffs. But
if it was pretty much any other team, I'd say that they're not going to lose to the Broncos. But seeing as it's the Chargers and they are more than happy to lose in the most ridiculous scenarios, dude, I can't.
It all fell apart for them that last Chiefs game. They had it, they should have won it, and they fucking.
That, yes, I agree. So yeah, like Zach said, those are two games that are fairly likely to result in the outcome that Buffalo fans are looking for. So I think that given the scenarios, Buffalo has a very good chance to clinch themselves a trip to the playoffs and try and redeem themselves from last year. But all starts with winning against Atlanta, which, as we just talked about, you know how we feel about Atlanta. I don't know if Zach's still actually here, but do you have anything else, Zach?
Hello, I'm here.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah, just let's move on. I'm trying to fix my camera. Everything popped off. I'm getting yelled at in the background. I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to fucking end it all. All right.
Well, we have a lovely little question from our boy Chris here, and it says, "What's our take from the season, and which team looks best fit for the playoffs right now?" Personally, it's been a wild ass fucking season. A whole lot of unexpected stuff going on this year. A whole lot of teams that we thought were going to be a lot better than they ended up being. A whole lot of teams that we thought were going to be a lot worse than they ended up being. And a whole lot of performances that just kind of came out of nowhere, for better and for worse. The team that I think is most suited for the playoffs right now, I think it has to be the Chiefs. They come in as one of the hotter teams in the league. They've fought back from below 500, which is just uncharted territory for that regime over there, and worked themselves back to 11-4, best record in the conference, and look like the world beaters that we've seen the Chiefs look like in the past. So I think that if there's a team that's ready, it's the Chiefs. I'd love to say the Packers, but God, they look fucking horrible. I don't know how they've won the last couple of weeks. Zach, do you have any thoughts?
I wish.
Buddy.
I wish I had any sort of semblance of a thought right now, but everything is just falling apart for me right now. So I can't even get my webcam to work. It's broken, and I paid $100 for it, so I'm really pissed off right now.
What do you have the proper drivers installed?
Clearly because it was just working, and now it is not. So I will.
Oh. Hey.
I'm just gonna have to use my. I have a camera on my computer, but I was trying to use my high def webcam that I fucking bought. That clearly is shit in the bed right now. So fuck you.
What brand is that?
Logitech.
Oh, mine's a Logitech too. I fucking love
that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Anyways, sorry folks, I'm back. You popped off. Chris, I don't know why you're commenting. But I miss you. Get in here. Thanks, buddy. I'm having a rough time right now. Let's go right on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, we've talked our ass off about the Buffalo Bills. They can clinch a playoff spot if the Ravens lose or if Vegas and the Chargers lose and they win. Those are the two most likely scenarios for them to win. If all three teams lose and they win, well, that's just another bonus.
And now we go to another fan base that is rooting hard for the Rams this weekend.
That is also true. However,
it is much less necessary.
The Cincinnati Bengals, to clinch a playoff spot and clinch the AFC North, all they need to do this week is beat the Chiefs.
That's all. That's all.
That's all y'all got to do. Just beat the Chiefs. Ain't no thing.
Chiefs. They are in Cincinnati, so it could be worse.
That's fair.
It could be worse.
That is fair. However, the Chiefs did just come off of like a 36-3 smackdown of the Steelers, who beat the Titans the week before that. So
yeah, but that just plays into. I don't think Pittsburgh's a very good team. I'm not gonna.
No, they're not. They're really not.
And I don't think the Titans are a very good team without Derrick Henry.
No.
So I don't think that's very relevant.
No, that's fair. You don't think it's very relevant?
That's what I said.
You said irrelevant.
No, I said I don't think that's very relevant. I just enunciated the R, kind of made it sound like irrelevant. But I want to see real quick.
Got my scores back up, boy. Anyways,
okay, never mind. Since he sucks at home.
What?
Since he is bad at home. So that doesn't help
record?
them very much. Most of their losses have come at home this year.
Not good. Not good.
Well, but still, it's better than playing at Arrowhead. It's better than playing.
This is true. So Cincinnati can clinch a playoff berth and an AFC North title with a win. That's it. That's all they need to do. If they win,
that's it. It's a wrap.
That's a wrap. AFC North playoff spot, everything. That's a wrap. However, they can also clinch a playoff spot in an NFC North title if Baltimore loses and the Steelers and the Browns end in a tie. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I know how pissed James would be if that is how the AFC North was decided over a tie.
Everybody loses and two teams tie, and that's how we get an AFC.
That is in fact a playoff clinching scenario. That is a division title clinching scenario.
That would be the most Bengals way to win a division.
I am praying. I'm praying that this happens because I want to see James drink motor oil.
Oh my god, dude, that would.
He would be so fucking livid if that is the way that.
Well, yeah, it also involves his Browns tying the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Exactly, that's the
point. And then the Steelers would have 2 ties this year.
Right. That
what a scenario! That needs to happen.
That needs to happen. Yes. It really does.
If any,
I would go.
Happen, that one.
Excuse me. So, Cincinnati can clinch a playoff berth only, just a playoff berth, if they tie and a bunch of other teams lose. Not going to go into that. However, the Bengals can clinch a playoff berth and an AFC North title this week with a win. That is the way they need to do it. They need to do it. However, really hopes that the Bengals and the Browns and the Steelers ended a tie, and the Rams just take care of business against the Ravens. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm rooting for that.
I find it strange that once you get past the tie scenario, then you start talking about Baltimore. But if they never mind. I'm very confused.
What are you talking about?
Some of these things are confusing, dude. Playoff scenarios are wild. Really a time.
All right. Do you want to hear the most convoluted one? We'll just toss it out there. So Cincinnati, you Bengals fans out there, listen to this one because this is a doozy. You guys can clinch a playoff spot, just a playoff spot. If you tie, the Chargers lose, Vegas ties, the Patriots lose, Miami wins, and Buffalo either wins or ties.
Is that really crazier than Cincinnati tying, the Chargers losing, Vegas tying, New England tying, Miami tying?
I didn't see that one. What?
4 ties. We need 4 ties in 1 week for that one.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh, shit.
That would be a historical.
I didn't even see that one. Didn't even see it.
Why is that even on the fucking list?
I don't know, because it's a scenario in which they can tie. Whatever. Sue NFL.com. All right. Bengals fans, win and in. That's it. Win and in. Or lose, tie.
Or tie, lose, tie.
Win, lose, tie. Win or tie. All right. Let's move forward. We'll go to the Colts. Indianapolis fans, you guys control your own destiny for a playoff spot as well. 9-6 Colts are playing, drum roll please, the Las Vegas Raiders at home.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
I know. I know. The Colts are win and in as well. So Indianapolis fans, you win the game, you are in the playoffs. End of story. That's it. That's all I got. Colts fans, can't win the division this week. If the Titans lose and you win, then we can talk about AFC South next week. So we'll check in on y'all later. There are other scenarios in which the Colts can clinch a playoff spot that involve a tie and like 3 other teams tying or losing or some shit like that. But again, win and in, Colts. That's all you need. Win and in. All right, let's move on to our neck of the woods here. The Patriots, New England Patriots, can in fact clinch a playoff spot this week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, nonetheless. So, Patriots fans, what do you need to do? What do we need to do to clinch a playoff spot? Let me tell you right now. Patriots, we need to win. One of 2 things needs to happen. We need to win. What?
You want to know what we got to do to clinch a playoff spot? I'm going to tell you what we got to do to clinch a playoff spot. We got to win.
Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. All right, we got to win. Okay. Beat the Jaguars, and we need either the Raiders or the Dolphins to lose. Now, we've already talked about this 3 times. The Raiders are playing the Colts.
All right. Who are the Raiders playing again?
The Colts?
Heard.
Right. Miami Dolphins. Drew, who are they playing?
The Dolphins are playing the good old Tennessees.
If everything goes right for the Patriots, we are rooting for teams that are going to make the playoff, that are already in a playoff spot. So we need either the Titans or the Colts to win this week, coupled with a Patriots win. Now, the Patriots should take care of business. They are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's manageable. Run the fucking ball. All you got to do, run the ball.
Trevor Lawrence has thrown 1 touchdown in his last 8 games.
Yeah, you have that on the other side, defense. If the Patriots lose this game, I want them to forfeit the game against Miami and not make the playoffs. They don't deserve it if they lose against Jacksonville. They don't.
Fair. Very fair.
So there are
but
2.
The Bills lost to Jacksonville.
They did, but the Bills were not very good at that point.
It was 9-6, Zach.
Yeah, they weren't very good.
Yeah, that's not an excuse.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm telling you that they weren't very good.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
really.
Fucking chicken strips. Yeah. Patriots win plus a Miami loss, win plus a Raiders loss. That earns you a spot in the playoffs. And yeah, so root for the Titans.
Apparently, that's all it takes in 2021 is fucking hoping for the Dolphins to lose.
I mean, it's a lot harder than you would think. They've won 7 in a row.
They sure have.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens with those 2 games this week. Obviously, it just makes for a more enjoyable watching experience for the entire week of NFL football. But Drew, you look like you're having a stroke.
Possibly.
Okay. I don't know, but your eye, one of your eyes was not matching up with the other one, and I was getting real concerned. Someone call a ambulance, please. All right.
I'm not even complaining about anything except for fucking Miami being your roadblock to the playoffs. Miami and Jacksonville
not even a
are your
roadblock.
roadblocks right now.
If we lose against Jacksonville, then we could talk about being a roadblock. But if we beat Jacksonville, then we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Tennessee Titans, last AFC playoff clinching scenario for you guys. Tennessee wins the AFC South if they win against the Dolphins, or if the Colts lose against the Raiders. So Titans fans, you have two chances to clinch a division here. If you win against the Dolphins, not only do you help the Patriots out, you are helping yourselves out by winning an AFC South title. If you guys end up losing to the Dolphins, then you need the Colts to lose against the Raiders. And if that happens, you also win the AFC South, which would be the more pathetic way to win a division. But I digress.
You gotta do.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. You can also clinch an AFC South title if you and the Colts tie. And if you tie against the Dolphins, Titans fans, you clinch a playoff berth. So if the Colts win and you tie, you clinch a playoff berth, but not the AFC South title. So have fun with that one. Like, all these playoff scenarios are so stupid. I hate them so much. But that is what you need to do. Win and you're in. Win and you win the division. Have the Colts lose. Don't worry about it. I don't know what time these games are. I'm going to look right now. Okay, Tennessee plays Miami, and they play at the same time. So it's not like, they play a game. If the Colts lose, then they, already have the division won. But they're playing at the same time, so it's not going to matter. So that is the AFC. Those are all your AFC playoff clinching scenarios for this week. Obviously, the Chiefs can clinch a first round playoff, a playoff bye in the first seed overall with a win and with a Tennessee loss. So the Chiefs this week are also rooting for Miami to win. If both teams win, then there's still a chance for the Titans to come in and take that number one spot from them. However, it's looking more and more like the Chiefs are going to take that number one spot with that bye. But let's move over. We only have a couple scenarios for the NFC, Drew, and let's talk about our number one playoff spot for the NFC. That is the Green Bay Packers. I don't have a banner for you. I'm also still on the Patriots. Let's move to the Rams, but we'll talk about the Packers first. A lot of teams thrown at you. I'm all over the place right now. Don't sue me. The Packers can clinch the number one overall seed in the NFC with a playoff bye and home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs if they win and Dallas loses. So both number one seeds currently can clinch the number one overall seed this coming week with a win and a loss from another team. So
yeah, but Kansas City's got it easy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Kansas City has it a little easier.
I don't think the Cardinals. I guess the Cardinals could beat the Cowboys, but it's not likely.
I don't know, dude, because think about it like this, right? Your first place team, the team that is below you hunting for your playoff spot, is playing a playoff team. The Cardinals have already clinched, and Dallas has already clinched. Dallas is playing for something, so you better goddamn. And actually, the Cardinals are still playing for the NFC West. So we'll see what happens with that. But Packers can clinch home field advantage in a playoff bye if they win and Dallas loses this coming week. But let's get into actual playoff clinching scenarios. All right. So obviously the NFC, 5 teams have clinched: the Bucks, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the Packers. All 5 teams, they have clinched a playoff spot. They're going to be in the postseason this coming year. However, there is only one division up for grabs. That is the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams are the only team right now that can, in fact, win the division for themselves this coming week. And let me get into that right now. If they win and Arizona loses, the Rams win the NFC West. That is the most straightforward path for you. If you are a Rams fan, you win, Arizona loses. End of story. Both teams have tough games this week. Both teams have really good matchups. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. The AFC is a smorgasbord of 500 teams that are hovering right at 500, whether it's a game above or a game below. I don't know about this Ravens team. I don't know if they have it in them to beat the Rams. And I don't know what Cardinals team is going to show up against Dallas. I mean, Dallas has had a really good season. The only two games I can think of that they had a really tough time with were those games against the AFC West. And they were 1-3, I believe, against the AFC West. They lost to the Raiders. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to they lost to the Broncos, but they beat the Chargers. So against every other team.
They went 1-3 against the AFC West.
Right. So they're 11-4, and 3 of those losses came from AFC West teams. So they've been steamrolling basically the entire NFC. I don't know I'm trying to think what other team they lost to.
First game of the year, Bucks.
Oh, the Bucks. Okay. So
by 2.
Every other NFC team they have played, they have beaten. So we'll see if the Cardinals can break the mold on that or if they're going to fall victim to another steamroll game of Dallas Cowboy football that they've been playing the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I don't really know how it's all going to play out. My guess is that the Rams win the division. Arizona slips into like the 5th spot, which is where they currently are, but they stay there. And then we get to see Bucks and Cardinals. That'll be a fun game. But yes, Rams win and an Arizona loss. You are in the driver's seat right now for the NFC West title. You will win the NFC West with a win and a loss. All right, let's move on to the Eagles, NFC. The Eagles can clinch a playoff spot this week at 8-7. It's very interesting to see this Eagles team in the playoff hunt and in the playoffs currently.
Yeah, no, all credit to them. They are way outperforming. Jalen Hurts is having a great year. I did not expect to be talking about the Eagles in this capacity at this point during the season. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. I just it's crazy with all the injuries and the running back room and just I don't know. There's just this hasn't been that consistency for the Eagles this year. Obviously a bright upside for them is that acquisition for Darius Slay. He's been lights out for them ever since coming onto the team. And he's really revitalized that defense for them. The Eagles need some help this week. They definitely need some help. However, if the Eagles win and Minnesota loses and New Orleans loses, they clinch a playoff spot. However, there is another way that can happen. If the Eagles win, Minnesota loses, and San Francisco wins, they also clinch a playoff spot. So they have an interesting path to the playoffs as far as clinching a spot this week. They can root for 2 teams to lose. They can root for a team to lose and a team to win. They have some options. So obviously they have 2 scenarios where they're going to tie, but again, that bullshit we don't want to get into. I am not 100% sure. I'm going to check the games for this week. The Saints are playing Carolina. So if Carolina beats the Saints and Packers beat Minnesota, Eagles make the playoffs. And if San Francisco beats Houston and Green Bay beats Minnesota and the Eagles win, then they're in the playoffs. So first thing you need to do for yourselves, Eagles fans, you got to secure a win against Washington. And then you have basically two different options. You can exercise however you want. If you want to watch the 49ers beat up on the Texans, good for you. Go for it. Feel good about yourself after. Then catch that Green Bay Minnesota game. Once Minnesota loses, you're in the playoffs. Or if New Orleans loses to Carolina, which is less likely, then you are also in the playoffs. So those are your scenarios, Eagles fans. If you want to make the playoffs, that's what's going to happen. Let's go right to the Niners as our last playoff clinching scenario. And pretty simple. You guys need to win, 49ers fans, and New Orleans needs to lose. That is the only way you make the playoffs this week. Next week will be a different story. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it.
17. That's it. Week 17 playoff clinching scenarios. Those were all of them. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 teams that can clinch a playoff spot or division title this coming week. It's a lot.
Yeah. It's that time of year.
I mean, realistically, there's only one team in the AFC that has clinched a playoff spot, and that's the Chiefs. There are still 6 spots up for grabs. NFC, obviously, there's 2 left, and those 2 teams are the Eagles and the 49ers in those spots. So Niners need some help. Eagles obviously need some help. But the AFC is a tight fucking race. Like toy.
Yeah, the seeding is going to be very interesting in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's the thing. This is, usually the playoff race is like, oh, we kind of know what's going to happen. And might seed the 4th and 5th seed might, the 3rd and 4th seed might be a little different. Like, no, we could get come next week, we could have a complete flip flop of seeding. 3 divisions that are still winnable for 2 different teams in each division. The Colts have been on a tear. They've been creeping up. They could take the division title from the Titans. The Bengals don't have it locked down. They definitely don't have an easy path. They have to beat the Chiefs this week, and if they end up losing and the Rams and the Ravens end up winning, then we could be looking at we have a tie atop the AFC North, and there's that crazy clinching scenario. And the AFC East can't even be clinched until next week. It's going to take all 18 weeks of NFL football for the AFC East to be clinched. So, the AFC is a hotbed of playoff action right now. Yeah. It's just crazy.
Accurate.
It's very, very accurate. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know what's going to happen. I mean, we could have, I mean, as far as next week, we could have all different playoff teams in the AFC.
Pretty much.
The only one that is really solidified for not the only one that is really solidified. Sorry. I mean, the only one that is really up for grabs is that 7th spot where Miami is right now, 8-7. And all these tiebreakers are coming into effect, and it's just so strange.
It's going to be a weird finish.
I'm currently confused with how Buffalo has the tiebreaker over New England. I don't quite understand that.
Probably conference.
Nope. Patriots have a better conference record.
Give me a minute.
Is it divisional record?
Give me a minute.
No, I'm asking you. Head-to-head is tied.
Division.
Does it go division, then conference?
Head-to-head, best in the division.
Yes, so the Bills have a better divisional record than the Patriots. That's why. Okay. I was confused because the Patriots actually have a better conference record than the Bills. Patriots lost to the Dolphins week 1. That's why. So.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do, donkey. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else for you guys. That's going to be our week 17 scenarios for all of you. Any fans of any of those teams, what we told you is what needs to happen in order for your team to clinch. So, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're hoping for a Colts loss or a win. Win that division. Bengals, you're hoping for a win. You win that division. If you're a Patriots fan, you're just praying to God that one of those teams loses, because that'll be painful if you don't have a playoff spot locked up by next week. That'll be nerve-wracking for me specifically, but Drew, I'm sure you're fine. You're like, whatever.
You'd be wrong there, man. You'd be fucking wrong.
All right, well,
my team looks like shit right now.
Well, I'm talking about just being in the playoffs.
Yeah, happy to be here, but how far are we going to go? Let's be honest here.
Well, here's my question. Are you going to feel more comfortable with a bye? Or are you going to feel more comfortable if your team plays week one of the playoffs?
I want to buy.
I mean, I figured you did, but I was just curious.
Yeah.
Gosh.
No, we need the rest for sure.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. Jair activated. Saw that. That's huge. Huge.
Massive.
Well, think about it like this, right? Now you have Jair back. Jair, Eric Stokes, and Rasul. All like that's a.
Yeah, what the fuck's gonna happen? Are they gonna put Rasul at slot? Are they gonna move Stokes to slot? Are they gonna?
Don't know.
It's gonna be very interesting to see how that affects the chemistry. Getting Zadarius Smith back is gonna be huge.
Yep.
Yeah, so I there's potential, there's hope, but I don't know. Based on the last couple games, man, it's bad. It's bad.
Okay, so here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Everything falls into line. What's your prediction?
We get everyone back. Everyone plays well.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers win the Super Bowl.
I wanted to hear that. I wanted to see if you were actually going to say it.
Yeah. If they can get all their players back and the defense doesn't find some way to shit itself in the worst possible opportunity, yes, I think they win the Super Bowl. That's happened exactly once since Aaron Rodgers became the quarterback. And guess what happened the year it happened? They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's fair. The Packers have a defense that can win a Super Bowl if they're healthy and playing.
And consistent.
Yes, being consistent, exactly. They have a defense that can do that. Their secondary is filthy. The front line can be nasty.
Oh God,
pass rush,
that's so good.
The pass rush is what's been good, and I don't know. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to think. Who is the? Oh God. Shit, I'm blanking. Who am I thinking of? You guys have had a tough time with the run defense, but there was a guy that you guys added, Rashawn Gary.
Oh yeah, Rashawn Gary's
been phenomenal in run defense
and pass rush. He's
correct,
really
right.
taken a big step up this year overall.
He has, but I've noticed it specifically in the run game because you know obviously you guys have had a hard time against the rushing attack, but his development has helped you guys along in the running in the ground game.
Or
stopping the ground game, I should say.
Yeah.
But,
and Kenny Clark in the middle is big.
Well, of course.
And honestly, that defensive line is really good. Dean Lowry, Kingsley Keke, Tyler Lancaster. That's squad. And I don't understand why they have so much trouble stopping the run. But having Zadarius Smith will help with that as well. So
yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping on my side of things that the Patriots get back to playing bully ball. They bully teams off the field. I hate watching them play cutesy football. You have one of the best offensive lines in football. Use it. Run the ball. Damian Harris had 3 touchdowns last week. Keep running the ball through him. Just keep grinding the ball through him. Please, 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 please.
Yeah. It's a strat.
Yeah. But any final thoughts for me, Drew, before we sign off?
That does it for me, my dude.
All right, sounds good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in. This was Garbage Time with BOTA. For Drew, for Chris, who sadly could not be here. We love you, Chris. For James, I am Soggy Boy. Thank you all for tuning in. You know where to find us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher. Yes, we are on Stitcher. That is true. We are on TikTok. We are on YouTube. We are on SportsMe. We are on what else? Are we on Twitch. We're on all those.
Everything.
It's hard sometimes to remember everything that we're on. I honestly forget. No, seriously though, guys, check out our Instagram, check out our TikTok. James makes fire videos on there. Comes up with a bunch of funny content. Yeah, if you're a fan of one of those teams, good luck this week. Unless you're a Chiefs fan, you can suck a dick. I don't care. Don't care.
Why would you?
Huh?
Why would you?
Nah, I know. But yeah, stay soggy. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
I'm making this as uncomfortable for you as possible. I hope you know that. Nope, not ending it yet.
Bye.